internet ether superhighway, and we are the Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective for our weekly Wellness Wake Up, live here on Facebook with you lovely ladies. I am honored and privileged and excited. And we want to give a shout out to our other two members of our collective that are unavailable today. So hi, Terry Allen. Hi, Claudia Field. We are excited for when you can join us again. And so today, I'm Dr. Andrea Renee. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, primary care physician here in California. And I am with Stephanie Matoski-Kanan, and she is the co-owner of the wonderful Oasis Palisades Wellness Center, where we have here with Dr. Tiari White, who is also an acupuncturist. We have done these wonderful live wellness retreats with Stephanie at Oasis. And since we are unable to be there to have you experience wellness retreats with us live, we are doing these weekly wellness wake ups to give you a positive and supportive community experience so that you can help build your self-care toolbox. So we want to share our gems here, our self-care wellness tools with you. To help you, no matter what these circumstances are, the challenges and the limits, to have your toolbox working for you and give you some resources, support, experiences so that you can feel good and keep yourself healthy. So we're coming to you each week to help you healthy people stay healthy. And even ideally, we can help you get even healthier. So that would be fun too. So I want to introduce this morning first the lovely Stephanie here, who is going to really bring a wonderful intention and context to these community experiences we're sharing. So how can we shift the way we're seeing ourselves, the world, right, our resources, and connect with positive community so that we can help ourselves? So thank you so much, Stephanie. It's a wonderful topic. So what would you like to talk with us about today?
Well, thank you. First of all, this has been really fun. I think this is like our 4th or 5th time doing this, and I have loved all of the things we've shared. I can't wait for our Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective .com so that you can go to our webpage. And from day one, we have all been sharing such amazing tools for our toolbox. One of the things that I enjoy about our wellness evenings is that we are giving people tools to add to their toolbox. We have had the Beamer, we've had organic facials, we've had acupuncture and cupping and body sculpting. We've done all kinds of things at our wellness events, and gosh, I look forward to doing those again. But in the meantime, we are building communities out. We're pivoting out of our normal and doing things. So today I wanted to talk about faith over fear. I know there's all kinds of stuff going on right now, and we could be glued to the TV, which is the last thing you want to do. Absolute last thing you want to do is be glued to the TV, because that could take you right into fear immediately. But we have to just live each day, wake up, and just start to breathe and be grateful for waking up and choose faith over fear. And one of the things that I have been doing, I started this book club with some friends of mine. It's Not Your Money, How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance. We started this book club before the coronavirus, and we just finished like 2 weeks ago. We did 12 weeks as a group on Zoom. Every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. It's Not Your Money, How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance. And I know we all have areas. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. We have to intentionally do whatever it takes to improve ourselves daily. I have this saying, what have you done today for your soul? What have you done today for your mind? What have you done today for your body? What have you done today for your business? What have you done today for you? And what have you done today for somebody else? But when you live fully from divine abundance, it really helps with, especially with what's going on. I want to read the daily prayer in the book and talk a little bit about the miracles that have happened since all of this. Actually, this book club starts again tomorrow for the third time. And actually, this will be my third time doing this book. And it's because you can never stop the process, and you can never, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle to live from divine abundance, and to live in faith and not fear, and to live in trust that it's all going to be okay, and that you will be provided for, and that it's okay to receive. Some of us are such healers, especially, just love to give. I love to give, and I'm so grateful that doing massage is something that I've been blessed with, and I don't have to sell it, because I just love to give. And so this whole journey, pandemic, staying at home, has really shifted me on being a better receiver. It's something that we're a work in progress, and every day in every way we're getting better and better. Hallelujah. Whew. So
yes, we can always get better. All of us.
Every day in every way we're getting better and better. And after listening to you ladies, every day in every way, we are going to get healthier and healthier. We're going to learn to listen to our own bodies, and we're going to learn to pray and receive and trust and shift, because every feeling that we feel create, all the emotions create chemicals in our body that either keep us happy, or they could make us depressed. So it's like constantly. It's just like those affirmations. We have to be constantly shifting, reminding ourselves to get off it. How quickly can you get off it, right?
Yes.
And to just, for me, is when, people are meditating and that's their divine space, or people, for me, it's prayer and dance and being with family with unconditional love.
I love that you brought up unconditional love. I'm so happy.
So let me read this prayer. Divine God, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it's safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel widely open to receiving. I receive. I'll say that again. And equally, let me feel widely open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. We were just talking about that, right? Mm-hmm. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. That's an interesting one. And I hadn't finished writing the whole thing out. And when I had to just write this, it was kind of interesting. Let everything that needs to go, go. That's kind of scary to say, okay, you're not good for me anymore. I'm going to have to let you go, right?
Well, we can be attached to it, right? Because
Yeah.
even if something isn't ideal, if
Yeah.
it's around enough, we're comfortable there with it.
So that could be with a people, or that could be with things. I mean, I like I say, this will be my third time doing this book study. And this book study is all about decluttering. And trust me, I am a work in progress, and every day and every way I'm getting better and better. But I have a lot of stuff that I need to let go of. I don't know why. I tend to, in the past, I like to say, in the past, I have tended to hold on to things, and it's kind of crazy, you know? So
well,
let everything.
Comfort and emotional remembrance.
I know, right?
And emotional remembrance they trigger for us. Yeah.
Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. All is well. So
are those things that you've wrote yourself, Stephanie, or is
that's in the book? That's in the book. That's the daily divine prayer, and then the 5 things that you want to do daily is do the prayer, say the full abundance change me prayer. Start to clean your house. And let me read this really quick. I know we got to move on. An important part of opening to receive is making room. I mean, that is the most practical, physical way. This is critical, especially if you have a lot of clutter. You're creating a vacuum to allow the new to come. This clearing is actually connected to the Yoga Sutra term Socha, which means purity or cleanliness. While it applies both to the soul and the physical space, for now we'll apply it to the latter. So decluttering, that is so huge. I know that the group of ladies, Dr. Beth, this is her book study with Maureen, and they're ladies from Dance Party. I know I want to talk about community. Every morning for over 2 years, I've been dancing with this ladies, Dr. Beth's Dance Party. And if y'all want to come, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of dancing.
We meet Friday and we dance. And I've been doing this with these same ladies for over 2 years. And community, it's like something you look forward to. Somebody, you guys are my community.
Yes,
they're my community. The book club ladies and gentlemen are my community. It's such an amazing feeling to have such wonderful people that lift you up, keep you up, miss you when you're not there, encourage you, pray for you. It truly is community. And for all of those who are in this stay at home, and I urge you to, there's so many amazing, even Facebook groups. There's so many ways to find community. We can be your community. We are your community. We're your wellness team. Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective. We are your wellness team. We look forward to doing it in person. But until then, you can find us many ways. And pretty soon, Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective.com, as Dr. Beth said. And if anybody wants to know about the book study, we start tomorrow, a 12-week journey. They told me I could offer it at the pre-launch price. So if anybody wants to know more about the book club, let me know. But it's been a really fun journey, especially to start the book club before the pandemic, go through the pandemic, and like, wow, it's interesting. Like this is such a surreal thing we're going through. It's really real surreal. It's like sometimes I wake up and it doesn't even feel real, but it's a reality. And I was talking to my son yesterday on the phone. I'm like, it's just everything. It's just so weird. The malls are closed. Most businesses are closed. Oasis Palisades is closed except for Andrea's seeing clients for acupuncture. Like, hallelujah, yay! We can't do facials, we can't do massage, but we still can do acupuncture. So I'm excited that Andrea is going to be seeing clients again and following all the COVID-19 protocols and safety measures and blah, 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 blah. So, all right. I am so excited to be here, and I love you, and I love community, and God bless you.
Thank you. Stephanie, what's the charge for the book group?
I'm pretty sure it's $149 for the 12 weeks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And this one for this book starts tomorrow.
Yeah, it does. For 12
and I love
weeks,
that
Wednesdays, 5 o'clock.
Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Pacific time.
That's great. I love that you got so much out of this book that this will be your third time doing it. That's
I know,
so huge.
really. I did it the first time we did it. Dr. Beth suggested we do it with the dance group. So all the dancers, we all were doing it, and it was awesome. But then Dr. Beth and Maureen, who also is in Dance Party, decided to open it up to whoever. And so I don't know, we had at least over a dozen women and one man. And yeah, 12 weeks to do it. But the most crazy part is that it started before the pandemic, and then the pandemic came and we got to, continue on, and we just ended a couple weeks ago, and we're starting again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's so good. When we were going to acupuncture college, I remember one of my professors Tiari and I went to the same schools and for our 2 degrees. And one of the professors had said, we can get more value out of reading one book 1,000 times than reading 1,000 books one time. Because it starts to become a part of who you are. The change becomes deep and big and profound and more meaningful and more real. You start to live the book, not just gloss through it, right?
Yeah, totally.
I love that it brings up the whole, because Ayurvedic medicine and traditional Chinese medicine are sister natural medicine traditions for thousands of years. And they share these concepts of decluttering. Feng Shui in Chinese medicine has the decluttering process too, because it's exactly what you said. There's this wonderful New Year's ceremony where the heart, the Shen, the spirit time of day is between 12 and 1. So you peel oranges, and you have 81 peels, and you put them all around your house, the peels, to put the orange scent to cleanse your house. And then you open all of your windows from 12 to 1 p.m. to let all of the new energy come in. But what you had to do first was clean the whole house first to make space for all of the energy that you're drawing in and attracting in with the orange peels. Because I love the symbol of oranges because they're collecting sunshine. They're like liquid sunshine in the fruit and the orange juice, because they thrive in the sun, And so you're inviting all that life in, all the oranges collected, all that sunshine in. And it's such a wonderful thing to remember is, as you said, we're not just decluttering our space, but we also declutter our heart and our attachments to things. And when we realize that whatever is coming is even better and better, like you're saying, we can get better and better in life when we make room and space for the new. So part of the letting go is understanding that we're always moving forward, living to our best life. Our latter days will always be better than our current days if we open ourselves up to that and invite it in. So we're not focusing so much on how attached we are, what we're letting go of, but really, I love how you're saying being open to receive can be a new frontier for us to get a better relationship with within ourselves too. And so I want to introduce Tiari now, because that's one of the wonderful contributions she wanted to bring to our virtual table here today. I have my little tea. I feel like we're having tea and hanging out with everybody virtually, right, in this internet ether here. So it's how we think, right? So Stephanie had brought up what we think creates emotions that create a physiological effect in our body that creates our health or creates our dis-ease. And so right. Dr. Tiari wanted to bring some new, maybe a reminder. It's a perspective that we can have, right, of how we think of ourselves, our place in the world, right, trusting our own ability to be intuitive, awake, aware, informed, right, in charge of our wellness, making our own decisions.
Mm-hmm. It's really, you know, it's a question of sovereignty over yourself. This is I predict that the word sovereignty is going to be showing up more and more in regular discourse as we proceed toward the in the next, you know, over the course of the next year, as we look at all of the different conditions that are being and the choices that we're being given about how we get to return to the new normal and what that's going to take. You know, trust is an interesting word because trust in yourself is the foundation of trust. Just like, you know, self-love is the foundation of all love and how it gets expressed in your life. Same thing with trust. If you don't trust yourself, then it means you're going to have to trust someone else. The less you trust yourself, the more intense you're going to be about the fact that others outside of you, other authorities, need to be trusted. So the more that, you know, we have a population that's told that they can't be trusted to read information, they can't be trusted to even, you know, they can't be trusted to even believe what they knew before. This is where the gaslighting comes into play. And I want to say there's, you know, at this point in our national dialogue about the concept of immunity, we've reached a point where I think that there's a lot of dishonesty that's coming forward that only somebody who really had minimal trust in their awareness of reality would fall for. And hopefully that's none of our viewers are falling for this, but I want to share my screen here. And I want to share an article. Are you seeing the Mother Jones article, you guys?
No, when you press the share screen, do you see it?
Okay. Oh, it says something about Chrome having a bug that might crash the situation here. Huh. All right, let me try it. And if not, I'll join back in.
Okay.
So, share. Okay, let's see. Are we seeing it? Are you seeing my screen?
No, not yet.
Oh, that's so weird. Chrome tab.
Trying to see if there's a way for me to help you do that.
Let's see.
I don't see that in my dashboard. No,
okay.
so sorry.
All right, I guess that's I'm using Chrome, and I guess StreamYard doesn't apparently does not love Chrome.
Mm.
All right. Well, that's not working. But let me just tell you something. There is an article that came out in Mother Jones, which is historically been a very progressive magazine. And this came out on May 12th, 2020. And the title is, it comes out under politics, the header of politics, and the title is, Anti-vaxxers have a dangerous theory called natural immunity, and it's in quotes. And then it says, now it's going mainstream. And the sort of crazy statement that's the subheader of this article, it's in quotes, your body is an amazing being and it knows how to take care of itself, unquote. And then the article basically goes on to talk about how this is such an insane concept that we have something called natural immunity and that our body somehow knows how to take care of itself. And they're saying this is an incredibly dangerous and political concept that needs to be stopped at all costs. And I was reading this and I was amazed, just amazed at what's going on. Because anybody who picks up a basic biology textbook is going to read in the chapter about
Microbiology 101. Yes.
101 about our immune system, that we are born with the framework to create through the living of our lives as human beings in exchange with our environment. We're designed to build natural immunity. This is 1984 happening, people. To say that people who are not part of the World Health Organization or not members of the CDC or doctors who aren't PhD level initiates into the specifics about immunology, to say that unless you're one of these people, you don't have the right to talk about our natural immunity, that this is somehow a dangerous political concept instead of a basic scientific concept. Okay, that is propaganda at its finest. It fits the definition of propaganda completely because it is a break with what we know to be reality, and that basically anybody can look up, and people you've lived the experience of your own natural innate immunity responding to the world. So this is where self-trust comes in, just to go back to that. We have experiences within our own lives as human beings, within our histories of observing children, within our understanding of the environment, within so many sources of information we've consumed that validate the presence of something called natural immunity. Just for a moment here, let's consider the fact that despite the fact that we get so many vaccines now, many more than we ever got, people who are over 40 ever received, even the vaccines that we do get, even under this current vaccine schedule, is a paltry handful of the many thousands of viruses and bacteria that we're exposed to on a daily basis. We're only vaccinated against a minuscule percentage of what's out there that our immune system is dealing with. If we didn't have natural immunity, we'd all be keeling over dead just from,
just from our own house,
just from sitting
in our own house,
just from walking outside your door. Okay, I don't know if anybody saw. There was a movie that Todd Haynes did in the 80s called Safe. It was about a woman who lived in a bubble, and people who are it was a story based on circumstances where people who are hypersensitized, their immune system cannot handle anything, or people who are very immune deficiency. It's the boy in the bubble concept. Okay, most of us are not in that situation. That's because we have something called natural, adaptive, and innate immunity. This is what's going on right now is akin to saying, hey, you can't talk about, anything biological unless you're an expert. Okay, and that is incorrect. It's
But
saying
what's
you can't
interesting
trust
is
yourself.
many experts are talking, and there are many
Many are
experts,
speaking.
many studies, also authors of books. They are the experts, the virologists,
Yes, and
they are.
so many are speaking. So many are speaking, and so many of them are under fire, and so many of them are having their content removed because it doesn't fit with this one particular narrative. So what I'm asking for people to do is to trust yourself. Trust your own basic understanding of reality. Trust your life experience so far. Trust experts that you vet and that you can see have something to offer, and be a critical thinker. That's really what I'm saying. This is a really important time for critical thinking. And there's a whole, there's a situation here where people are being told not to trust themselves and to only trust outside authority. And it's difficult for most of us to do that because we've been trained to trust and to trust the system and trust outside authority. So this is a great time, everyone, to go back and look up the phrase Stoics, the Stoics, okay? These were Greek philosophers who really valued the concepts of self-reliance. And there are a lot of fabulous, there's a lot of great content out there about how to build self-trust, things to do in your life that actually build trust in yourself. That is going to be the foundation of many wonderful decisions that you'll get to make for yourself, and that we will feel more empowered to make as a collective, the more that we practice self-trust. So there's a whole science around that is used by people who are in coaching. When you want to build trust in yourself, a great thing to do is to set small attainable goals for yourself and carry them out. The more you do, that is one of the little basic foundations of self-trust, is when you set a goal for yourself and you do a little bit and you keep going that way. That's kind of the foundation of self-trust. The more that you don't do things that you set out to do, or you violate your own values, the less you're going to trust yourself in the long run, and the more you're going to hand your power over to other people. So like last time, we talked about effective immunology. We talked about psychoneuroimmunology. We talked about studying the scientific background pharmacognosy of herbs. These are all key words that you can use to go ahead and do research and empower yourself. And today, I want to offer to you a couple of words. One is critical thinking. Okay. Another one is self-reliance. Think Thoreau, think the Stoics. I want to say faith. And when you say faith, that is a word that can mean many things. It can be faith in the system, in the state. It can also be faith in a higher power, that's spiritual one. It can also be faith in yourself. And I think it's a multivalent picture.
And experience.
It needs to be balanced. It needs to be balanced. Okay. So whatever that balance is for you of faith, that is certainly something that I am a strong believer in, because it hits at a level of self-care that has to do with your spiritual connection to yourself. Okay, and that's extremely important to the immune system as well and your general health. So, because if you read Viktor Frankl, for instance, his account of being under siege in a concentration camp in World War II, you will see, the power of faith in yourself, the power of critical thinking, self-reliance. These are qualities that, this is the time to cultivate these things. So that's, we need to cultivate those things in the same way that we cultivate and build an immune system, in the same way that we cultivate and build communities. It's really important. It has very, very immediate and practical benefits. So that's what I would like to share.
I love that. Thank you so much. I was looking up, I have that Viktor Frankl book in my Kindle. I was going to give the name of it. I'm so happy that you brought that up, because there are certain things that no one can take from us under any circumstances, even as a prisoner in a concentration camp, which is what his biographical account is about, Viktor Frankl.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and actually, Renee, can I just, before I finish, there's one last thing I wanted to mention. And Kelly Brogan, who is a MD psychiatrist.
Yes.
She wrote in a really amazing article, blog post that went out to people on her mailing list. Really admire her work. She's connected with Sayer Ji, who has GreenMed Info, which is a fantastic source for science-based information about health. Tons of studies that he has, amazing database, which makes looking things up very doable if you're not just comfortable, using the internet. So you might want to check him out, GreenMed Info, greenmed.info.
These links in the comments for everybody.
Okay, but Kelly Brogan, she sent something out which really looked at a lot of cognitive dissonance type level of information that's been coming out about the coronavirus and what's been going on. And she made a point of taking a lot of things that aren't making sense, and she led it into this idea of, being empowered to evaluate information ourselves, and what a cornerstone to that is, how much of a cornerstone logic is to that, and understanding formal logic systems, okay? Understanding when somebody's making a point that doesn't make sense. There are very specific patterns around that we no longer learn in school. Of course, they used to teach that for years. It was the foundation of education way back when. And
critical thinking skills.
It's the critical thinking skills. So if you look up in debate, this is taught for people who study debate and rhetoric nowadays, but look up patterns of logic and reasoning. Okay, that's another set of keywords I want to offer you, patterns of logic and reasoning. And you will find, when you look that up, you will find keys that will help you to evaluate, once again, all the content that's surrounding you. So that's my last thing I'll leave you with: the Stoics, patterns of logic and reasoning, ways of building self-trust. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, because this is when knowledge is power. What I do in my practice, what I'm most passionate about, is educating patients so that they can make their own informed decisions. And then I can support a patient in executing their treatment plan that they decided is the right plan for them, based on me educating them with these types of objective, fact-based resources here. So it's not about It's not about emotion or being attached to anything. It's about presenting facts and being able to digest them, process them, and then come to a place of making our own confident decisions for ourselves, because we have the right to do that. We are autonomous. We get to choose what we believe. We get to choose what we do for our health, how we live. We get to decide. And we get to inform what our meaning of our lives and the world is, right, by the resources that we pull in with these searches. There's a wonderful Neil deRossi Tyson masterclass on masterclass.com. He's teaching critical thinking classes right now. I thought it was so fun. He was passionate about that being brought to the table. He's doing that as a service. And the Viktor Frankl book is called Man's Search for Meaning. So regardless of our circumstances, and sometimes because of our circumstances, like right now, right, we are in a sense being forced to search for our own meaning, to find our own unbiased facts that we can use to make informed decisions about what is happening and how we will respond to it. I always love Stephen Covey has this wonderful concept, the 90-10 principle. This was so meaningful to me, how books can change your life. So life is only 10% about what happens to us, circumstances. It's 90% about how we choose to respond to those circumstances. So we have a choice here as to how we respond to COVID-19. We are in complete control of our life experience by how we choose to respond to whatever challenges that we face. So Viktor Frankl is such a great example of a man in a concentration camp who chose to respond to those circumstances in an empowering way, because all of his rights could be stripped of him except his meaning that he chose. He's still in control of what he thinks and how he responds to the circumstances, and so are we. And that's what I wanted to talk about today myself. I wanted to invite everyone to come back from quarantine better than ever. I want to invite everyone to embrace it and take it on. This is a wonderful time for us to get excited and inspired. We're coming back from quarantine, that there is an end in sight, and we can still help ourselves with our self-care toolbox, and we can come to this place of a safe sanctuary. Some of the things I love that both of you shared today, Stephanie, you had shared, where is this unconditional love that we have for ourselves? How can we redefine our relationship with our body, with symptoms that it has that we see, instead of being afraid of them, to listen to them? And how can we respond in a productive and supportive way to what our body's telling us? So I have been working with patients, acupuncturists, or primary care physicians in California. I am an essential worker. I am allowed to practice. According to the new safety measures and guidelines, I'm limiting how many patients that I see. So things like having a patient that would usually be an hour treatment, I schedule them 2 hours apart, so that if they were late or we finished late or a patient came early, no one has to cross paths. And then I can completely have more than enough time to sanitize the clinic, the treatment room. I can switch out anything that was used. Of course, we've always done this as acupuncturists, as clinicians, as doctors in practices. We don't mix things like tools and linens. We've always been sanitizing. This is not a new situation for us. So, you don't have the same robe that somebody else used if you change into a robe. The same thing with massage therapy. We have new sheets, right? We clean rooms, right? We do all these. This is part of how we've been practicing medicine for, in modern times for 100 years. Like, since we figured out washing hands, right? a number of decades back, like we do this stuff. Okay, so, and then we can wear masks too, so the patient and the provider will wear masks. We don't have to spittle our germs at each other, right? We hand sanitize, wash our hands, so we can create a safe environment like here. And so from working with patients, there's some things that are coming up. So again, as Chiari was saying, this quarantine can trigger, I realized today it triggers certain things for me within my own history. So again, triggers create an emotional response. And so it's not just about quarantine, COVID-19, it's what it reminds us of from our past, right? And then how these emotions will drive behaviors. So, right, comfort food, like my patients, some people have asked me, can you help me lose weight? I have this Netflix binge weight, right? I've been stress eating. Another person the other day said, eating a lot of ice cream. They're just really buying a lot of coconut milk ice cream. That's their comfort food, you know. And I had done the same thing. The reason why I have a specialization in weight management is because I had management challenges as a kid. I moved when I was 8 years old from Chicago to Orlando, Florida, and I was bullied as a kid. I was bullied verbally and physically because of my weight as a kid. And so I had trouble making friends. And so I would go home and I would eat comfort food like nachos with Velveeta cheese, which is not real cheese. I don't even know what Velveeta is anyway. I have no idea, you know, so, but it's a comfort food situation, right? And so I would have nachos and I would come home and I would watch TV. I liked Scooby-Doo. I liked Three's Company, right? I would comfort myself with not healthy food and TV. And then when I got good grades, you know, my parents would take us for a treat to get a sundae. We would go to like a McDonald's drive-thru and we would get a sundae. So, you know, that's comfort food. That's a reward for that. At least if I had friends and I was getting made fun of at school and bullied at school, I could at least get good grades and get my sundae, right? And then we would have a Friday night family movie night, and I would eat pizza and watch movies, right? So I have this trend, right, of comfort food and massaging my emotions from being bullied with you know, like the Netflix binge watching and foods that, again, I would feel, I actually learned later in life what I love about practicing medicine now is, I've mentioned before, anyone can go to Everly Well. So that's Ever, EVERLY, well, WELL.com. And you can get lab test kits. And you can find out way earlier than I did, which wasn't until, oh my gosh, even mid-30s. You can test yourself and find out if you have food sensitivities. If your symptoms in your body didn't tell you enough with all the bloating or gas or weight gain or nausea or allergies or post-nasal drip. These are all the things I experience when I eat dairy products and wheat and gluten, right? And so, you know, you can find that out if you have sensitivities in a lab kit test right now. It can come to your home. You can know. You can also know if you have some vitamin nutrient deficiencies. So again, for a healthy immune system, which is in our body, we can support it with things like lifestyle, right? So how we're handling our stress, right? What we're eating, and from exercise, those all support immunity. And part of what we're eating, right, is are we deficient in some vitamins and nutrients? We can get a Everly Well test and we can find out, you know, certain protocols that we've shared are fundamental. there's a wonderful, again, experts, doctors and hospitals use vitamin C injections as treatment for the worst infection a person can have is sepsis. When you get sepsis in a hospital, it's a systemic infection throughout your whole entire body, and your body shuts down and you die. That can be treated with IV injections of vitamin C, and it works. And it's instituted in hospitals, and it's instituted for COVID-19. Like Tiari's art, I can share the research, the actual study about it. Again, when we go on the internet, we can do a wonderful search. Vitamin C IV therapy, NIH, National Institute of Health is what NIH stands for. You can bring up the same studies that we can access in medical school, that we use to write our dissertations, papers, presentations, that we look at as evidence to help institute evidence-based protocols in our practice. And then as clinicians, we see this actually work in practice, like this doctor did in this hospital.
Renee,
he saw, oh wow, when I put vitamin C injection, people get better.
Renee, we should do a course on how to read a scientific paper for a layperson.
Yeah,
I think that would be an interesting thing to offer. Help empower
because
people.
all of this, it doesn't have to be intimidating. Okay, people are smart. Okay, I trust in people's ability to learn. We were made to learn and grow and evolve and better, as Stephanie said earlier today. That's our mind. That's what we do as human beings. And so we can help each other, right? It's not hard to learn. It's easy to learn. We were made to learn. And so, yes, we can support each other to learn. And that's one of the things when we drill down. My specialization in weight loss came from my own challenges in weight loss, and I've been helping many patients and clients over the years drill down to what's underneath that. So I did comfort food and stress eating, massaging my emotions because I was being bullied. That was my response, because I didn't know other better responses at the time when I was a kid. And of course I can continue that as an adult, right? And so now I have better, right? I've looked, I've educated, we've done, multiple degrees, we've read, right? And anyone can do what Tiari and I have done to become acupuncturists. We can all learn what we choose to learn and empower ourselves. So what is underneath that? So am I believing that one of the things about weight that can be so stressful, so when you're coming back from quarantine and maybe you got some of this comfort food Netflix binge weight, right? You're feeling kind of sluggish and lethargic. It's really not hard yourself. You really can. So there's actually, it's just like a top 10 life hacks, because there are many reasons why we have gained this weight underneath those habits, right? So I mentioned nutritional deficiencies and how we can get an Everlywell lab test, because we can really beat ourselves up and be like, why am I eating the carbs and the sugar? Why am I having these cravings? And then we can be so mean to ourselves and say, oh, I just don't have any willpower. I'm so weak. How come I can't be like other people, right? And resist that. And I'm here to tell you that there can be some very real physiological reasons why you have cravings than other people, and you can't resist that coconut milk ice cream they sell at Trader Joe's. It is very good. I like it too. Strawberry and chocolate. It's spectacular. Okay. And it's non-dairy, so I can make excuses about how I can eat it, right? But again, if we eat the sugar and then we crash our mood emotionally, right? But again, if we have a nutritional deficiency that's making us more depressed and more anxious, we're going to crave the sugar and the carbohydrates more because it's going to lift our endorphins. This is just, again, this is basic stuff. We can be kinder to ourselves. and then again, do the learning and the investigation to figure out, is that the issue? So that's what these top 10 life hacks, top 10 reasons why weight management, why weight gain happens, why weight management might be a bigger challenge for us, because it's not a one size fits all diet solution. And we can be much kinder, much less judgmental, much more unconditionally loving, like Stephanie said, right? So what can we learn about ourselves? How can we investigate and figure out? I love your dog in the background, Tiari. Lily is like having an incredible, wonderful wiggle time on your couch.
So cute. So we can also invite people to.
There she is. By the way, she's 20 years old. And she is a holistic medicine dog for the most part.
So I think maybe you have nurtured her wellness and immunity by her diet and lifestyle.
Yes.
Perhaps, right? Perhaps. You've increased your dog's longevity.
Perhaps. And she's still like a puppy.
Perhaps. Yeah, look at that. 19.
Yeah, 20.
So this is
her 20th year.
So possible. Us.
Wow. So cute.
She had antibiotics for the first time in her life, this past year, but she's made it, all this time without that. And I think a lot of it is, the power of love, to go back to, Stephanie, and also keying into what you were just talking about. It's the power of community, touch. Lap dogs live longer than bigger dogs for multiple reasons, but one of them, I think, is that they're always constantly being held.
Right, what you're doing right now.
They're getting all of this stuff. It's, like having your own massage therapist, working on you.
So cute, so
all
precious.
The time. So we're all living beings in the same universe. Dogs, I'll say one little thing. Dogs get coronaviruses. Kennel cough is a coronavirus, one type of coronavirus. When we have a vaccine in veterinary medicine for kennel cough, but the treatment for kennel cough is, because it's a virus, is generally just to support the health of the dog. And the virus eventually clears out of the animal's body. So, it's kind of interesting. Oftentimes, I enjoy checking out what are veterinarians doing for these similar viruses that all mammals, we're mammals, dogs are mammals. We all have basically the same basic physiology going on. Okay.
Which is why research studies are done using animals in clinical research studies. They're done using animals as well, because they are, again, there's the same kind of living organisms like we are, sharing the same planet with the same exposure, right, to all these microorganisms all the time.
Exactly. So, okay.
And they have personalities and emotions too.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Lily.
So that's one of the things too. Again, if we understand this basic principle that how we live affects our health, then there are these questions to ask, to notice, to find what the gaps may be. So do we have enough touch in our lives? So now I'm a hug person. And for many years, I have hugged my clients and patients. And that's what we do. We're a team. We care about each other, and we work together for their wellness. And so I'm very grateful. I have some wonderful, meaningful relationships with my patients. I know Tiari and Stephanie, you do as well. But now we do ghost hugs. So we put the same intention into the ghost hug. And then too, I don't have a dog right now. So I actually, we had talked about this with Terry. Do we check in with ourselves each day? How do we do that? And I literally will give myself a hug when I wake up in the morning with my hand over my heart and my belly. And I wake up and I hug myself and I say, good morning.
I love that, Renee.
I know.
And thank you, God, for my life, for my health. I'm waking up today. And as she had suggested too, I can check in with myself. How am I doing? How am I feeling? How can I help myself today? How can I be my own best friend? How can I be my own doctor? How can I be my own medicine? What can I do for me today? And part of it is just checking in. And I like to call it, we're creating our self-care sanctuary space where we're unconditionally loving to ourselves. I think one of the biggest challenges we can face is not accepting our body and looking at symptoms that our body has. The way that our body only has to communicate with us is to make us feel something, because our body doesn't really talk. It gives us a sensation, right? In order to communicate a need so that we can listen, and ideally we can respond in a better way than my binge watching and comfort food eating. Because that has a price that I'll pay. I won't ultimately feel good just in the moment, right? So can I make a better response? But first, I have to listen first. So, and are we willing to create this self-care sanctuary space so we'll listen without judgment? And when we notice something that we're feeling, we won't have any shame or judgment about it. I used to have so much shame about being overweight and being bullied. I actually walked hunched over and I would hold my arm in front of my belly to hide how big my belly was from people, to try to hide from being bullied and made fun of. Because I bought into other people's idea that I wasn't worthy or lovable if I was overweight. From myself either. Maybe some of you guys have had that experience too, where we accepted that other people didn't approve of us because we were overweight and we were rejected by them. And then we adopted that idea. Well, I can't love and accept myself either. I'm not allowed to like myself and be confident and love myself and be proud of myself if I'm overweight. And I carried that for some time. I ended up becoming anorexic when I was a kid because I was desperate to have friends, and I saw everybody having friends and I saw everybody having boyfriends, and I had none of that. And I blamed everything on the fact that I was overweight and I was bullied because I was overweight. So that must be the problem. So if I just stop eating and I get thin, then I could make friends, right? And I could have a boyfriend too, and I could be loved, right?
Okay. I know people, so, I'm hoping people stayed to the end of our, we're already at an hour and 3 minutes. So I wanted to add to that, but hopefully people do listen till the end. I'll 2 seconds or 2 minutes share my experience of what you're talking about, Andrea.
Yes, I would love for you to share, because this is a sanctuary place where we share.
So when I was 19 years old, I went to go work for my first holistic doctor, and I was opened up to the whole world of holistic medicine, which I had never experienced growing up as a teenager. I didn't really know what I knew really was, holistic minded. That I remember. So when I first started working for this doctor, she had a nutritionist, an iridologist, an acupuncture. She was at home. She made her own medicines, and I was doing electroacutherapy and introduced to well-being and health. And I actually became bulimic, I don't know, over maybe a year, because psychologically I started to know better, and then I would still eat my sugar, and then I would feel bad, like, oh my God, I just ate that. So I went through, I don't know, it miraculously went away, but I went through over a year experience with bulimia because I was, not used to, I didn't grow up learning to eat healthy, and then I was introduced all of a sudden to what's pure and good. And so the whole mental thing about, oh my God, I just ate that. Oh my God, I just ate that. Oh my God, I just ate that. And it was definitely a learning experience, and extremely grateful that it went away. And it truly went away as a miracle. You know how in the Bible it says, if you confess to other people, something like that, twice in my life, I've had miraculous experiences where I finally shared my horrible, dark secret with people, and it magically went away. It's not crazy. It's biblical, perhaps. I don't know.
And also when we embrace that part of ourselves, right? So we don't have to hide from it or shove it down or feel ashamed to share it with anybody. We're allowed to have that part of ourselves. We can express it. We can share it with someone. We have unconditional love and support for it too. It's allowed to be part of us. Mm-hmm. And we can have the courage to be vulnerable in front of someone. And that takes all of that pressure off.
But isn't that interesting? Like, an interesting story of how, like, you're introduced to being healthy, and then what's the right way to eat, the right way, but then your mind can, like, have a freak out about it, or the guilt.
Well, because that's normal. This is one of the things that I love to touch on, and this is so appropriate right now. And I teach a lot about this in my practice, and I have a 5-element class about it as a free gift on my website, chillaxhome.com, because this is the human experience. Anything that's new will make us uncomfortable, and we will resist it. And we have to work through how to cope with that discomfort, right? To make any new changes, new habits. Our body's a conservationist. It has limited energy. It wants to conserve. Change takes effort. It takes effort for you to change those habits, right? Exposed to this whole new world that can be very overwhelming and intimidating. And then especially if we take it on and we let the idea come in, oh, well, there's something wrong with us, or we're wrong, or we should be ashamed or feel guilty, right, about being human.
I'm sure it tied into also how you, like, you never felt as pretty as the other ones, or, oh, she's so much beautiful than you, and, oh, how come she has more boyfriends than you?
Yeah,
and it all just starts to mess with your head,
Yeah, again, we just get messed with. Like, we compare ourselves to other people, which is unnecessary, and we don't need this gold star stamp approval from anyone. And it goes back to what Tiari was saying, right? We are in control of how we choose to respond to the world, our challenges, anything that happens. And we can educate ourselves to respond in much more positive and productive and helpful ways that give us a long-term payoff, not a short-term payoff for a long-term price we pay of not feeling good. So we are in total control of that. And I don't want anybody to beat themselves up because they watched a lot of Netflix and ate a lot of comfort food. Okay. That's totally okay and completely understandable. Like, you had a new job, open up to new ideas and concepts and how other people could live in different ways. This is a whole shift we've had in quarantine, living in a way we never would have chosen for ourselves under any other circumstances. Oh. This is not by our own, none of us really, I would imagine, I'll speak for myself, but Most of us wouldn't choose a quarantine situation, right? Very stressful to change our whole routine, cut off our in-person social experiences, even with family members, and to stop getting the physical touch that makes us healthy, like Tiare just showed with her dog. So this has been a stressful time, and that's one of the coping mechanisms, and it's totally okay.
I wanted to share this really quick. Last night at 10:17, I got a text from a client. I won't say who. Stephanie, when you are comfortable, I would like to schedule a massage. This lockdown stuff is killing me, especially my back. I hope you and your family are well and healthy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. Exactly.
Like, I thought that was like funny.
Yeah, because now it's been since March 11th for most of us. It's over 2 months, and that's a long time not to have massage therapy, not to have acupuncture. I was close to for a couple months. You know, these are self-care tools for a reason, because they work. They've gotten results for us. That's why they're here. So we can make a comeback, and we can use this time to educate ourselves. We can get some Everlywell labs. We can find out, do we have a nutritional deficiency that's causing these cravings for these foods too? Do we have a hormone imbalance that will also create, right, stress and weight gain symptoms too? We can test all these things. We can get a baseline right now, and we can empower ourselves right now. I love that idea of setting your inner GPS. Let's just see where we're at right now. And in the path of where we're going, we can start to carve out that path. So these are things we don't have to beat ourselves up about. We can be kind. So just check in with that self-hug, for example, in the morning. How are you doing? How can you help yourself? If you have gained some of this stress weight, what can you do to help yourself? First of all, just know that it's okay.
Let's end with a self-love and self-hug.
Yes.
And a group hug.
Yes, a group hug. Right? We are more than okay exactly as we are right now. We are lovable. We are deserving of love and respect. Okay? We can help ourselves. We're totally capable and able to do that. We can use our time and the internet to find the facts, make informed decisions, get the support that we need. You can get these everlywell.com labs. You can see where you're at. Tiare and I do virtual consults, okay? We can also see patients as essential workers in a safe way to help you achieve your goals. We are continuing these video series to give you access to tools and support that you need so you can help yourself in many ways at home. So that's our whole goal here. Is we're here for you. I'll share in the links, comments, so you have some tools and you can ask us questions about what you want us to help you with, understand, and cover. So is it true for you too? Is it stress and anxiety and weight gain that are your biggest challenges after 2 months of quarantine, right? What is it that is most challenging? Tell us.
For me, it's becoming boredom. Like yesterday was my first day of being bored, which I don't know why that is. I have paperwork and things I could be doing, but it was just like, oh my goodness, what do I do next? What do I do next?
Yeah. And again, you know, that's one of the things too, like tell us, what is it? So then next week we can talk about, all right, when you have that, oh my God, what do I do next? How do you help yourself? Maybe make a list in advance you keep around, like these are my top 10 things that I want to do with extra time that I have, like your decluttering project or something, right? What is
I've got like 2% battery. So
yeah.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective. acupuncture, cupping, massage, body sculpting, telemedicine, herbs, chakra healing, beamer therapy. We've got so many things that we can offer and we're doing. And most important is community.
Yeah.
We've got each other. We've got each other. And I'm so grateful. And we're inviting community to find us. I did create a group Facebook page for connecting the Palisades community and business together, Palisades Connection, and maybe we could put that link in so we can invite people to join us in all of our places we have. Yeah. All right. I better go because I'm running out of battery. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.